So we start by taking all of the measurements throughout the whole conservatory. Jareth is behind me there taking the measurements of the rafters. That's for our first and second fix. And then Owen will then come down. He's finding the angles now for the facets. The reason we do this is because everything is cut outside, giving it a much smoother process. So we're not actually cutting them as we install them. They're all cut and ready to go. That saves a lot of time during the install process, giving everything a smoother process for you guys. Right, so one of our most frequently asked questions is how do we prevent condensation? So Jareth's up there now drilling holes in the polycarbonate support trims. They're only 6mm holes, which will allow airflow between the insulation and the polycarbonate panel. This is something called cold bridging. So on the outside when it's really cold, on the inside when it's really warm, the two of them meet and it does create condensation. But by making these holes and having that air gap between the two, will prevent any moisture from building up whatsoever, which means you don't get no leaks. Right, we're moving on to the battens now. This is the first fix batten. It's the perfect anchor point for our 19-layer YBS super quilt, and it also creates that air gap that we were speaking about earlier on. So moving on to the next step, as you can see behind us, we have got our 19-layer super quilt, which when we make the cut in a minute, I'm going to show you the 19 layers inside that. And as you can see up here as well, which we spoke about earlier on, there is an air gap behind, which any condensation that forms on the inside of the polycarbonate panel here will just be able to evaporate out through the vapor holes behind there. So as I said before, the multi-foil insulation we use is made by a company called YBS. They're the leading multi-foil insulation manufacturers in the UK. This particular one is the very best one that they offer. 19 layers in there. This is what does the magic. When we use it, it's a flexible insulation which allows us to cut it in place. This is what does the magic, keeps you cool in the summer and warmer in the winter. So the next step, as you can see in the background, is to get the second fix batten up. This gives us the perfect anchor point for the next step, which is the 300mm hollow soffit board. So we are moving on to the 300 hollow soffit. It is a very high gloss finish and it is Uracell's premium 300 hollow soffit board that we use to finish off our insulated ceilings. One of our frequently asked questions is how much light loss is there, as we will be covering up the polycarb or the glass. You do lose a small amount of light, but because the conservatory is mostly made up of windows and that has a high gloss finish, as soon as any light penetrates through those windows, it rebounds off of everything in it, including the clapboards, and provides a very airy feel. So the answer to the question is there is minimal light loss. Yes, there is a little bit, but what you gain back from that is a conservatory that you can use all year round. So final steps now. As you can see behind me, Owen is sealing up all the trims and all the edges where it's like a hard edge, just to get rid of all the shadow lines. We put the LED downlights in, complete with a dimmer switch as well, and that is pretty much us finished. This conservatory will now be able to be used 365 days a year, no matter what the weather's doing outside. So if you fancy getting yourself a quote and being able to use your conservatory 365 days a year, head over to our site and we'll get back to you within 60 seconds with a quote.